So behind me is the Spanish pilgrim town of El Rocío, which sits in the middle of the incredible wetland known as Doñana, one of the most important on the whole flyway. Normally home to about 500,000 birds, this year less than 80,000. Whilst you can see some water behind me, the rest of Doñana is dry. And the water that we can see is only there because it's being artificially pumped there for the town and the bird observatory. The really sad story here though is that this isn't just being caused by climate change, which is having an impact in the south, but there are vast numbers of farms around here which are illegally extracting water from the groundwater. And what are they growing there? They're mostly growing red fruits like strawberries, and they're mostly intended for the British supermarkets and for European markets. And somehow, despite the fact that water extraction is illegal, it's getting through. But as Doñana dries up, we are losing one of the most important spaces for wildlife. And the locals here have described it as an example of intense human stupidity, that we would risk something so important for the ecosystem, so important for us, just so that we can have strawberries in winter.
Well, gets a lot of money, it's lucrative economically. Makes a lot of sense.
But the cost is bird life.
The cost is Doñana. Doñana could be the cost if we don't put a stop to that. If we don't find a solution, a middle ground, Doñana could be the cost of our strawberries.
Yo creo que son dos problemas ahora mismo distintos. Lo más urgente es acabar con el regadío ilegal. Eso es lo más urgente, tanto para nosotros como para los agricultores también legales. Ellos mismos quieren tener una imagen positiva, que se les asocie positivamente con un espacio como Doñana, tener una marca de calidad que poder ofrecer a los mercados, y ello va a ser imposible mientras haya sospechas de un uso ilegal del agua, de una mala gestión, etcétera. Con lo cual creo que tanto ellos como nosotros, los legales y bueno, pues en este caso las organizaciones conservacionistas, tenemos bastante más en común de lo que puede parecer.
But recent developments in the region have given conservationists a glimmer of hope. Last month, 5 farmers were sentenced to more than 3 years in prison because they were found responsible for crimes against the environment, inflicting harm by the systemic and extensive extraction of water. If upheld at a higher court, it would mark the first decision involving a jail term for unlawfully extracting water from Doñana. As well, at the start of October, Andalusia's regional president gave further cautious reason for optimism because he announced that the imminent vote on plans to increase the amount of land that could be irrigated for agriculture around Doñana by 800 hectares will now be suspended until all parties have agreed. They are both reasons for optimism, but let's say cautious, because we still have a lot more to do, not just to safeguard the future of Doñana, but actually to bring it back to life.
Tenemos entonces todo el problema ahora mismo de cómo vamos a poder conservar ecosistemas húmedos como Doñana, porque vemos que no basta con la figura de protección y no basta solamente con lo que tú puedas hacer de la frontera para adentro. Tiene que haber una gestión diferente y sobre todo que la gente conciba realmente la importancia de estos espacios para la vida también del ser humano en el planeta.